Hey, this is Joe Crump. I'm excited to announce the launch of our brand new PowerDialer. This is going to make your job a lot easier and make it possible for you to get through your leads a lot faster. A PowerDialer allows you to queue up all the leads that you want to talk to and then blast through them one at a time, one after the other, and talk to them. And it'll make your job a lot easier. It's similar to a predictive dialer, but it doesn't dial without your consent. So it's not going to be dialing and hanging up on people in the background like a predictive dialer would do. Let me show you how it works. To create a new campaign, you're going to go to the Lead Management tab, which is over here, and select the leads that you want to work with. So it's going to take me to Lead Management, and I'm going to select System Leads. System leads are leads that the system has scraped. They've sent out text messages to those people, but they didn't respond. So now we've got all these people that have never responded to any of our calls, any of our texts, any of our marketing, and we can go through and we can call those people. And the way we'll do it is I'll turn on Show System Leads. I hit Search, and it pulls up. And you can see in my system I've got quite a few of these leads in there. And I'm going to select just a few of them just to give you an idea how this works. I'm going to select all the leads in the current page. You can select all the leads if you want to, and it'll put them into the queue for the PowerDialer. But I'm just going to pick 10 right now, and it's going to put a little checkbox next to those 10 over here. So now on this page there are 10 of them that are selected. Once I do that, and you can do a search and select any group of leads that you want that are in the CRM to do your PowerDialer, whether you import leads, whether you use leads that have been scraped, whether you use leads that you've manually inputted, however you want to do it, using the tags and all the different definitions that you can in order to search these leads. I'm just going to do it with system leads right now because I think that's something that everybody needs to know about, and I think it's a good way to maybe give your business a kick in the butt and start having a lot more people to talk to and go through this process, and also get better on the phone learning how to make these calls and do this. You're probably not going to be very good on the phone until you've talked to at least 100 people and gone through this process with those people. So that's why I'm encouraging you to call these system leads. Anyway, once you do that and you've selected the leads that you're going to put into the PowerDialer, click on PowerDialer and give it a name. And I'm just going to call this System Leads 1. Or maybe let's call it 10 because it's the first 10 system leads. Now this will change. So one thing that you could do in order to tag these leads is I could create, let me show you here first. If I wanted to, I could create a tag for these leads, add or remove a tag, and I could put a tag on all 10 of these leads by clicking this button. That way I'll know which ones I've already had in campaigns, in this PowerDialer campaigns in the past. All right, once I've done that, then I can click on PowerDialer, create a name for it, and create the campaign. And it's going to take me to the PowerDialer interface, and as we see here, the System Leads 10 is all ready to go. And if I click on View Campaign Leads, it'll show me which leads were picked. And here are the phone numbers. If I want to get information on any of these leads, I can click on this and it'll give me the full detail on that particular lead, all the information we have on that lead. You can see that it's pending, so it's ready to be called, and the phone number that's going to be called. Let me go back to the campaign. And I can start dialing simply by clicking on Start Dialing Session. And it's going to initialize. Takes a second or 5. And once it's ready, I can go to Details page for this first lead, and this is the information I have on the first lead. Now, the nice thing about these lead sheets is you've got a lot of details at your fingertips. You've got information on the ad, so I can pull up the information about this property before I call this person. I have some details about it. If it still exists on Craigslist, I can click on this button and it'll take me to Craigslist. If it still exists on Craigslist, it'll show me the link to that one. Of course, I've got all the other details about this particular lead as well. And if I have information or a lead sheet on this property, it'll show up here. If it's a Zillow lead, there will be one here. There'll be information here. If there's not, if it's a Craigslist ad, there won't be, and you can add one. And I'm just going to put test here for now, but you can put some, give it a name, and it'll open up the lead questionnaire. And this lead questionnaire is the questionnaire that you want to use when you're talking to these people. So you can get into this information before you call them, and you'll have that detail. So now I'm ready to call these people. I've got the information about the property, everything that we've got details on, and I can start calling by clicking on Call Next Lead. I can pick also which phone number I want to call from. So this will be what shows up in their caller ID. And you can buy as many phone numbers as you want in the system. They cost $3 each per month. So you can buy as many phone numbers as you want. And I would suggest that you call an area that is with the same area code of the numbers that you're calling into. Alrighty, and once I click on Call Next Lead, you're going to see that this next lead is going to come over into this current lead section, and it's going to start dialing the phone. I've got the system set up so that it calls my cell phone. And I'm going to have to go
leave a message after the beep, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can.
Directly to, I had to go directly to my voicemail. And as you see, once I got the voicemail, I was able to click on leave voicemail, and it left this rent to buy message that I created. Now you're going to have to create your own voicemail. This is my message with my phone number on it, but let me show you what that is so that you can see how that works. As you can see, this is the one I sent them to. Hi, I saw your ad for the house for sale, and I was wondering if you'd consider selling the property on a rent-to-buy basis. If you would, please give me a call. My number is 317-884-8666. Thanks now. Now, if I want to create more voicemails, all I have to do is click on record, and I can give it a new name and make that happen. So I can do testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can listen to that. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I want to save it, I can just give it a name and save it. And there it'll be there. So when I come over here, you'll see that it's in that in this drop-down menu. So I'm going to go back here and just delete this because I don't need this one. And then this is the only one that I need right now. But you can create as many of them as you want, so you can have different types of voicemails that are left whenever you're calling whatever particular lead you're calling. The other thing that this system does is allows you to, if you're on the phone with someone and you're talking to them, and let's say you're the telemarketer and you want to send the call to your boss, or you're talking to someone who's interested in buying a property, so you want to send them to your buyer finder. I can type in that phone number of the person that I want it to call, and it'll call that number. I hit transfer the call, and it'll call that number, or it'll just transfer that number. That call to that number. The other thing that's going to happen, and we're still working on, is we can click on what happened in that call. If it was a live answer, I can click live answer, and on the lead timeline down here, it's going to show up when the call happened. There's going to be a recording of the call, and it's going to be the information about the call. So the time and information about the call will be there, and you'll be able to mark it as a bad number, or as a busy signal, or no answer. That way you'll know to go back to it later if you don't get it done the first time. The other thing that is on here is this auto dial next lead. If I click this button and I click call the next lead, as soon as I hang up on the previous lead, it'll count to 3 and it'll dial the next number. We're actually going to add a feature to this that allows you to add seconds, so you can do it in 10 seconds or 30 seconds if you want, if you need a little bit more time to be able to fill in the information. One of the things I'm looking for from you guys as far as feedback goes is tell me what would make this easier for you to use and easier for you to navigate your leads as you're going through this process. I want to make this as easy as possible. One of the things we've found with PowerDialers is that it will increase the amount of calls that you can make by 400 or 500% based upon just pulling out a phone number and dialing one person at a time. it also kind of keeps you in a flow to get to the next person and the next person. And I can look at the next person on the list by going here. If I decide, oh, I don't want to call that person, I can click skip, and it'll go to the next person instead as soon as I hit call the next lead. Now, once we're done with this, I can click on stop, and then I can look at the particular campaign that I did, and it'll show that I left a voicemail on this one, that these didn't get called, none of the pendings got called. And if I'd called through a bunch of them, it would show the different things that happened on that particular call. If I want to re-queue this, all I have to do is click on this, and it'll allow me to re-queue the lead. And it'll make it pending again. So those are the basics. As we develop it more, I'm going to be creating some more tutorials to help make this process a little bit easier for you. But at least this will get you started so you can understand how the process works and how to start using it. And then I'm anxious to hear your feedback. I'm very excited about this. I think this is going to make productivity increase dramatically as you're making these calls, especially for people who are making a lot of calls, which is everybody who's in my mentor program, because I have them calling 8 to 10 hours a week. And to be able to do this, this means that they're going to be able to get through a lot more calls in that period of time. And that means that they're going to learn a lot faster, and they're going to start putting deals together a lot quicker. So this should be a game changer for those types of things. Anyway, good luck with it. Let me know what you think. I'm anxious to hear your feedback.